Hola y bienvenidos. Hello and welcome to another video of Introduction to Spanish. Today we will be talking about the present tense in Spanish. Before going through the lecture, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Vera, I'm 25 years old and I'm a Spanish teacher. I give private classes, but I wanted to start these online lectures because I think it's a great way for everyone to start in Spanish and to get in love with this beautiful language just like I did. This is the third lecture that I'm doing as Introduction to Spanish. The first two are how to pronounce and how to accentuate words in Spanish. So if you are interested in learning Spanish, go check them out. And if you like the content that I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel and give me a huge like. Oh, and don't forget to check out the link in the description. It will lead you to my Skillshare class, where you have more information about the present tense in Spanish, more exercises, solutions, and a small dictionary that I have created with all the verbs used in this class, so you can also expand your vocabulary. Today we will be learning the present tense, but we have to start first by learning subject personal pronouns, the infinitive, the indicative mood, and then we can go to the present tense and learn how to conjugate verbs and when to use the present tense in Spanish. Now that you have all the information that you need, let's start with this lecture. We will start this lecture with subject personal pronouns. We use them as substitute for nouns when it is clear who or what is being talked about, and they carry out the action of the verb. So let's go over them. The first person singular is yo. The second person singular is tú. For the third person singular, we have three forms. So we have él, ella, and usted. Él is the masculine form, ella is the feminine form, and usted is the form we use in more formal and hierarchical relationships. For the first and second person plural, we have both masculine and feminine forms. So for the first person plural, we have a masculine form, nosotros, and a feminine form, nosotras. And for the second person plural, we have a masculine form, vosotros, and a feminine form, vosotras. Now for the third person plural, we have three forms also, like for the third person singular, and those are ellos, masculine form, ellas, feminine form, and ustedes is a form used in more formal relationships. The English you in Spanish has different meanings. We use tú and vosotros or vosotras when referring to someone we know well. So, for example, with a family member, with a friend, or with younger people in general. And we use usted or ustedes when we want to show or to mark respect. With older people, for example, with a superior, okay, in more formal relationships. Let's see the examples here. The first example is, tú te vas de vacaciones en junio, ¿no? So we would use this sentence with someone we know well, with a friend, for example, because we use tú. And the second example is, ¿está usted bien, señor Ruiz? So we use usted in this case because we don't know this person very well, or because it is an older person, or because it is superior, or because it is a person with a title, like for example, doctor, president. Okay, so in these cases, we would use usted or ustedes. Before learning the present tense, we have to talk about the infinitive. The infinitive is the most basic form of a Spanish verb. It is the form in which the verbs appear in the dictionaries, and it is a non-personal form of the verb. In Spanish, the infinitive has three endings, each with a thematic vowel, and all verbs are classified according to these endings. So we have verbs that end in ar, verbs that end in and verbs that end in ir. Let's see the examples. Cocinar, esquiar, hablar, tocar, viajar, cantar, preparar. Verbs that end in er: aprender, comer, correr, leer, tener, beber, conocer. And verbs that end in ir: dormir, sentir, decir, vivir, salir, sentir, escribir. So, as you can see, all these verbs end in ar, all these end in er, and here all these verbs end in ir. So we can classify all the verbs in Spanish in those ending in r, in er, and ir. And this is very important when conjugated verbs. So remember this. Another important thing to know is that verbs with reflexive form add pronoun se to the infinitive. So we have here the example, ducharse. This verb doesn't end in se. This verb ends in r. So as you can see, we can classify this verb here with the verbs ending in r. But because this verb is in its reflexive form, we add this pronoun se. The next example is moverse, and the last one, vestirse. And now we can talk about the present indicative. The present indicative, or in Spanish, el presente indicativo, is one of the most used and versatile tenses in Spanish. It can be used in many different contexts, so it can describe either what's happening right now, in the near future, but also it can refer to the past. To form regular verbs, we cut the endings of the infinitive, ar, er, ir, and we add the endings for the present tense, which are the ones in color. I recommend you to learn the endings for the present tense through the following examples. I personally consider it much easier than just learning the endings, because when you start learning more and more tenses in Spanish, you can get confused by the endings. But if you have a verb in mind when you think, for example, present tense, verbs in are, and you have a verb hablar, then you can just change it to persons and you have all the endings in your head. Let's go over these examples now. For the verbs ending in are, we have an example, the verb hablar. So all the regular verbs ending in are changed the same way as this one. You can learn this one and you will be able to change all the verbs ending in are in present tense. So the first person singular is hablo, second person singular is hablas, third person singular is habla, first person plural is hablamos, second person plural is habláis, and third person plural is hablan. Don't forget that in Spanish we don't pronounce h, so this is hablo, not hablo. For the verbs ending in er, we have the example, the verb comer. So again, you can change all the regular verbs ending in er like this one. So for the first person singular, it is como, the second person singular comes, third person singular come, first person plural comemos, second person plural comeis, third person plural comen. And the last one, the verbs ending in ir, we have the example vivir. Again, all regular verbs ending in ir change the same way as this one. So first person singular is vivo, second person singular vives, third person singular vive, first person plural vivimos, second person plural vivis, and third person plural viven. So don't forget that you can just learn these three verbs and be able to conjugate all the regular verbs in present tense in Spanish. And the final thing we will talk about are completely irregular verbs. These verbs are the most difficult ones because they are irregular in all persons. They don't follow any rules, you just have to learn them. Let's start with ser. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. Ir, voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. Oler, huelo, hueles, huele, olemos, oléis, huelen. And haber, has, ha, o, hay, hemos, habéis, han. So, as you can see, we have here two forms for the third person singular, and this is the one that you are interested in right now. This is the one that we use in present tense, and we use this verb haber only in this form, in present tense. So, here you have the example. Hay mucha gente en la calle. There are a lot of people on the street. So this is the non-personal form of the verb haber, and only this form, third person singular, is used in the present tense. The other forms are used to form the other tenses because haber is an auxiliary verb. Here are the exercises. In the first one, you have to write the correct form of the verb, and you have only regular verbs ending in ar. So the first verb is llegar, and you have to put it in the right person. So you have here the sentence, mi amiga Carmen, here goes the verb, hoy. So the person here is mi amiga Carmen, so this is third person singular, and you have to put here the verb in the right form, so in the third person singular, which is llega. So it would be mi amiga Carmen llega hoy. The second exercise is the same as the first one, but with the verbs ending in er. So we have here the verb aparecer, and in the sentence we have subject personal pronoun tu, so we know that this is second person singular, and we put here the verb in second person singular, which is apareces. So this would be tú siempre apareces sin llamar. And the third one is with verbs ending in ir. So we have here the verb compartir, and we have a subject personal pronoun yo. So this is first person singular, and we put the verb in the first person singular, which is comparto. Yo no comparto tu opinión. Gracias for watching this video. I hope it was useful, and if it was, give me a huge like, subscribe to my channel. You have here my other videos, and in the description you have links to my Skillshare classes. And don't forget that if you have any doubts about the content of this lecture or any of the previous ones, you can contact me. My email is vera.belgrado@gmail.com. I also give private classes, so if you want a course specially designed for your needs, you can just send me an email. If you go to the link in the description and you watch my lecture, you will find a discount code for private classes. And that would be it. Adiós. Nos vemos en el próximo video.